At least 10 people have been killed in twin blasts on the metro in the Russian city of St. Petersburg. The explosions took place on a subway car at the station. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said President Vladimir Putin was aware of the reports of the explosions. Well, the blast is said to have involved a device filled with shrapnel. St. Petersburg is the second largest city in Russia. Well, joining us on the phone line is ANON 7 assignment editor Bontu Williams. Bontu, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Perhaps just give us more details on the blast that took place in Russia.
Well, not much at this moment, I can tell you, but there's lots of activity in Moscow. Emergency rescue people have arrived on the scene. People have been evacuated. And of course, they've already determined more or less what kind of devices were used. And it appears there must have been two of these devices in two carriages near the Institute of Technology in Moscow and another station close by. 3 stations already closed, 20 people injured, 10 dead, and of course the Russian president, who was coincidentally visiting the city to meet the president of Belarus, is in the city, so he will be consulting. And knowing the Russians, they normally act pretty fast on this kind of thing.
Now, Bontu, has this been actually confirmed as a suspected terrorist attack? Has there been any groups claiming responsibility of the blast so far?
Not as far as we are aware at this stage, but the Committee on Terror in Russia has already, said that this must be an act of terrorism against Russia. So, they have a committee specifically for that. And if they say so, then indeed it must be an act of terror if you think about it, the way it happened and how it happened in a busy metro and that sort of thing, yeah.
Yes, and I'm not quite sure whether you will have details with regards to security being beefed up at the city, but just talk us through that.
Oh, yeah, security is beefed up pretty much. If you look at the pictures that are coming through now, quite a lot of security around. The emergency services and the president happens to be in town, so you can expect that there will be heightened state of alertness in the city, to make sure that there isn't another incident. And obviously, they're already hunting for suspects. They're probably going through the systems. And if you have a committee on terror, then those people are probably well placed to act very quickly, to respond immediately and find the sources of information they need to begin to act and basically find the suspects.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. That was ANON 7 assignment editor Bontu Williams, just unpacking more details on the blast that took place at St. Petersburg in Russia.
Agree that living in big cities now means living in a state of high alert. But according to you, is there anything at all that the security services can do, the people can do to prevent such things from happening?
Well, yeah, and I think that they have actually done a fairly good job recently in trying to disrupt a number of these types of attacks. However, as we saw in Britain a couple of weeks ago with the attack on Westminster, the attack profiles are coming in some cases within individuals or profiles that kind of fall outside of the norm. In the case of the London attack, the individual was 52 years old, was not really a known individual to be of much concern to the authorities, and ultimately used a very simplistic means of attack in order to carry out the attack that he did carry out. And so when you look at profiles like that, it makes it incredibly difficult, if not frankly impossible, to thwart an attack like that. When you start talking about individuals who build bombs and want to target public transportation, I do think that there's a bit more opportunity for the authorities to interdict, because those individuals generally have a bit more of a coordinated presence. They're interacting with more than just themselves to carry out the attack. And then, of
Doc,
course,
I'm sorry, we'll have to interrupt this conversation right now as we can hear what President Putin is saying about what happened. And he earlier has expressed condolences to the relatives of those killed. Let's now take a listen.
Between the two countries, Today we will talk about the achievements over these years in terms of expanding our bilateral ties, what still needs to be done. We still have some issues outstanding, some problems. Anyway, I'm happy to see you.